Hello, this is Martin Mendez from White Stones and Opeth, and you listen to Vulgar, this player podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Vulgar Display of Podcast live from the Barn Studio. You got the Mox, Anthony, and Todd here, and we're joined online right now with a special guest, Mr. Martin Mendez from White Stones and Opeth. Martin, how are you today?
I'm good, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We are big fans here. Where are you calling us from? Where are you at right now?
I'm at home. I'm in Barcelona.
Yeah, that's pretty far from where we're at right now.
Well, I like how he has to clarify Spain because he knows he's talking to Americans.
Right. We are big fans here. Know that you are a busy guy, so we won't take up too much of your time. But wanted to talk about White Stones and this new album that you have out. Help me with the pronunciation here because I am a dumb American. So help us with the pronunciation with this new album.
It's called Memoria Viva.
I will not be able to say that, so I'm going to refer to you. Now that the record's out, tell us a little bit about the, the writing of this record and how it feels to have it out and out to the listeners now.
Well, I started writing this record last February when we finished the tour with Opeth. And yeah, what can I tell you, man? I think it's the best record I've done so far with White Stones. I'm really happy with it. And this record, compared to the previous two ones, is singing in Spanish, in the entire record. And yeah, I don't know. It's pretty much the same line in the music style, I think. Some different sounds maybe in it, but I think overall is still been like some kind of death metal, experimental death metal. Yeah,
which we love, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
Martin, can you describe your role in the songwriting and the recording process for this album?
Yeah, well, I write all the songs, and then I make some demos, and then I send the demos to the drummer, and then when drums are done, I start working with Aloy for the singing, and then I record all the guitars by myself and bass, and then I have this guitar player that he moved to Portugal, so he couldn't be here in the studio, so he done the guitar solos over there, so he sent them to me, and that's pretty much it. And then I have some guests. I have a guy who play the flute, which is kind of new in White Stones. I didn't have that before, and I had the help from Joaquin Svalberg, the keyboard player from Opeth, to put some Hammond organs and some mellotrons in some songs. Yeah.
Now, do you also write any lyrics? Like how much of a stake do you put in lyrically with any of your projects that you do?
Well, in this album, I only done one lyric on the song called La Ira. The rest is Eloy, the singer. In the first album, I done like almost every lyric, but then I kind of I kind of leave that to the singer to put his own words. So yeah, so he's been taking care of mostly of the songs this time.
And the decision to record the record in Spanish, that's a significant shift for you guys. What inspired you to fully embrace that?
Well, this is an idea that I had in mind for a while. You know, I when we did the second album, Dancing into Oblivion, we try out during the demo recording to sing in Spanish, but I didn't like the result really. I think we didn't find the right way to sing in Spanish, and so we decided to go for the English for the second one. But I really wanted to try out this time with Spanish, and I think we put a little bit more of energy this time, and yeah, I'm happy with the results. So this is something I had in mind for a while, and yeah, finally I kind of managed to do it this time.
How has the reception been? How have the audiences been receiving it? And I know you have a show coming up maybe in September in Spain. Have you played it out yet?
I mean, the reception has been all right. It's been good, I think, overall. But we unfortunately we had to cancel this show. Um, so yeah, we haven't done any shows yet with this band. So I'm planning to find a free spot and free time to make a show. Hopefully this year, at least here in Barcelona. Um, but yeah, I mean, I had to cancel the show because yeah, it was a bit too tight with Opeth upcoming tour in America. So yeah, unfortunately, we can't do it.
Now, with tour coming up, with Opeth and everything, do you guys have any tours planned with White Stone, or are you just going to have to kind of continue with Opeth for a while before you can, obviously you have that fulfillment to do? What are your tour plans with the White Stone coming up within like the next year or two?
Well, to be honest, I don't think I will tour with White Stones. I kind of like the idea to have some, shows here and there, when time is available, And right now we start with Opeth, so for me it's kind of impossible to focus on both things. So yeah, I think with White Stones, the priority is writing process and recording the albums, and then do some shows here and there. But also I need some free time. I'll be home with my family, so it will
Absolutely.
take too much time for me.
Absolutely. Now, when you go on the road with Opeth, what is the maximum amount of time that you're willing to kind of be out on the road? Especially, when Opeth is known across many continents. Like, when you're on the road in Europe versus North America, like, is there a certain time frame you want to be out there altogether, or maybe you just do like a specific Europe tour versus not a North America tour?
Well, fortunately with Opeth, we manage now we have like a rule is that every tour we do now is maximum 3 weeks, and then we are at home at least 3 weeks in between the tours, which is really good. Back in the day, we could be out for 2 months and then go home 3 days, and then 7 weeks, and then again 4 days at home, and then 2 weeks, 2 more months. So it was crazy back in the day. But now I mean, we're getting older as well, and it's everybody have families, so yeah, it's important to have this balance, the free time at home and then going out and work.
Yeah, so Martin, I got to ask because it's a bit of a hot topic right now. What are your thoughts on Gojira playing the Olympics, the opening ceremony, the first heavy metal band ever to accomplish that feat? What are your thoughts behind that?
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I think it's cool, man. It's cool. I mean, it's heavy metal exposure to the whole world is just great.
If you haven't seen it and you're in the listening audience, I definitely recommend it. I think it was like a huge moment for metal, and I think it
Yeah,
was done really well, very theatrical.
Yes,
I loved it. I
it
thought
was
it was a
great.
great thing.
that's cool, man.
So now in America with with metal and the culture we kind of have there with that, now what do you see any differences in cultures around the world, like with metal, how it's received, how it's portrayed? especially with the media, you know, like over here, it's, and as you probably know, it's taken a long time for metal to become really popular with, you know, a lot of people saying, hey, it's satanic or whatever the issue may be, but
Mm.
it's doing pretty well now. You know, hey, we got it on the Olympics, it's on video game soundtracks, it's coming up in
Yeah.
the world, but it still has to compete with that modern pop kind of being forced down people's throats. So how do you see it around the world?
Yeah, but I think it's pretty much the same everywhere, you know, to be honest. I mean, heavy metal has always been kind of the black sheep, you know, and it's always been like, yeah, as you say, the satanic sort of the, you know, the heavy metal people is not the exemplar for a good family or something, you know. But I think heavy metal overall is growing, and I mean, I play big festivals everywhere, and it's a lot of people coming out, and I can see, man, the people in the metal world is almost the most friendly people ever. You know, if you go to a pop festival or something or wherever, you know, you see fights and people doesn't really care about the music much as metal people do. You know, it's a I think it's a good community. You know, and it's growing. You know, I think it's going on the right way.
I've said that before on this podcast that people that aren't in the metal community and don't listen to metal, when they hear I listen to metal or they know that that's a passion of mine, they think I'm like this angry guy that sits around in
Yeah.
the dark all the time. And when I go to these metal shows, you know, I recently had a buddy who's not a metal guy that went to a metal show, and he's like, everybody is so nice here. It's so weird. Like, what do you think we do here? Like we,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I think a lot of the release comes from listening to that type of music. You know, like I said, the anger thing, people think I'm angry when I listen to metal. It's no, that actually makes me happy, you know, and it can
Yeah,
be
sure, man.
my own mental health at times.
It's very therapeutic.
Right.
It is, yes, and it's a passion, man. Music is passion. People is very passionate about heavy metal, and I don't know. I see other styles of music that people are more in focus on how they look or whatever. Metal people is not like that. It's just about the music, you know.
Now, Martin, what is one band that you like that no one would ever even consider assuming that you would like them? That you tell them, hey, man, like these guys are the bee's knees, and no one would ever expect that coming from you.
Metal band.
It could be any band. It could be Celine Dion. It could be it could be anybody that just
Oh
like,
man,
oh,
I
hey,
listen to so much. I listen to a lot of music, so you know, I don't know, but right now I was listening to Astor Piazzolla. You know, it's like a tango from Argentina. You know, so
yeah.
I don't know, but you know, I kind of one band I kind of took back. I mean, I listened to this band when I was 15. It's Nuclear Assault, the album Game Over. It's fucking awesome, man. I listen to this all the time in my car now, and I don't know. I mean, I love music in general. I love so much music, so it could be many good names to surprise.
I definitely have an opinion on this, but do you think that makes it into your music? I mean, you guys are known, you know, speaking specifically with Opeth of using
Mm.
many genres in your songs and having these long, epic, you know, soundscapes
Yeah.
and exploring a little bit of everything. Do you think your influences make it into your music?
Oh yes, for sure. I think it's a big thing for us to have all these different influences, and I think that as a musician, that mm, gives you kind of a different sound, or you kind of get the inspiration from all these styles, you know.
Now, when you're on the road, do you have a favorite venue or city that you've ever played and you're just like, hey, this is the greatest venue or city? You might not say cities because you'd have to travel from time to time and meet those fans, but
Mm.
a venue that sticks out as, hey, this is the epitome of what bands should want to play at.
Oh, there are too many. But you know, I mean, it's nice to. I mean, fortunately, with Opeth, we done so many good venues. You know, the Red Rocks in Denver, or we did the Sydney Opera House in Australia. Um, I don't know, the Royal Albert Hall in London. I mean, it's legendary places. But to be honest, man, I mean, I love playing live. I love performance with Opeth, and you know, I'm every time I'm on stage, I enjoy it as much as as tiny pub to the biggest arena. So for me, it doesn't really matter when I'm on stage. But it's really nice to have done all these legendary places. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is the Vulgar Display of Podcast, joined here with Martin from White Stones and that new record that's out that is very easy to pronounce for a dumb American like me. And Opeth. No, we got the tour coming up with Opeth. What about any kind of new writing, new album that we can expect anytime soon?
With Opeth or
Yeah.
White Stones?
Correct.
Opeth. We're in process. Yeah, I think you will have some news pretty soon, but it's still in process.
Awesome. It used to, you've been in this game for a long time now. I imagine writing used to be everybody getting in a room and putting the pieces and the parts together, right? Is it different now in the digital age? Is it like track sharing where you send your stuff to somebody, they send it back? How does the writing process actually happen now?
Well, when it comes to Opeth, it's always kind of been the same. Michael writes the songs and makes some demos, and then we meet up in the rehearsal room, and everybody kind of get together their own parts, and then when we go into the studio, we kind of decide exactly what to play on every instrument. For me, it's really fun because I have a lot of freedom, when it comes to me putting the bass in Opeth. So I kind of prepare like 2 through 3 months before I go into the studio, and then I present all my ideas to Michael and to the guys, and we work it together. So yeah, I mean, it's never been like we just meet up in the rehearsal room and then throw up some ideas and then try to make songs. It's always been kind of the same way.
Yeah. So, Opeth's sound has really evolved significantly over, the course of your discography. How do you adapt to those kinds of changes, and what do you do to help prepare yourself to play those songs live?
Well, every time we do an Opeth album, it's a challenge. That's the really fun part playing in this band, because it's always something different. And then when we prepare to the live shows, we kind of try out all the songs we kind of decide to try out to play and see how they work, because sometimes they can be very difficult for the singers, for the harmonies and everything, or put together the music as a band. So we need to kind of redo the songs a little bit for performance live.
This is the Vulgar Display Podcast with Martin of White Stones and Opeth. Martin, we really appreciate your time. We are big fans of everything that you guys do, and looking forward to having you back in the States sometime soon.
We will come back in October. So very happy to tour in America again.
Awesome, man. Can't wait. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, man.